you want to kill me. Now you want to kiss me. Blow.
You've got 3 seconds for it.
I'm going to amp this baby up. See how it sounds.
This is the FakeShemp.net podcast. My name is Glenn. I'm sitting here with Jarret, as I always do, and we're going to just ramble some shit and talk about movies. How's it going?
Very good, sir. It's been a month since we did the last podcast.
Has.
Yeah.
It's been ages.
Almost a month to the date.
We've done a little bit of...
We've done some searching.
Yeah. Well, you did. You went to Sydney.
I did.
What have you? Did you bring back any good stories?
Yeah. Look, it was our wedding anniversary, our first year wedding anniversary, and we went to stay with. Thank you very much, sir. We stayed with Airbnb, which we'd done in the US, in LA and New York. Great service, but unfortunately, the place that we booked and stayed in Sydney wasn't really up to scratch. We walked in and it was a bit of a musty smell about the place, and I was like, oh, that's not immediately a good sign. The bathroom.
Did you lift up the mattress?
Well, dead hooker in the mattress. But no, we did lift the sheets up, and Danny discovered pubic hair.
Oh no,
pubic hair. Apparently, it had been professionally cleaned. The pubic hair had been. Apparently, the place had been professionally cleaned, but we seriously did it. So we were up till about 4:30. We slept first night of our wedding anniversary, and we are sleeping on an L-shaped couch, head to head.
Oh no!
With a towel over the cushions on the couch because we didn't want our bare heads on them.
Yuck!
And up till like 4:30 because I was looking for where we were going to stay for the rest of the trip because we had to get out of it. But
disgusting.
It was fucking. I mean, it's bad, but the cinemas in Sydney,
like
the cinemas in Sydney City, they are dirty.
Really?
They were dirtier than the place we stayed in. Yeah, cinema etiquette is well and truly, I don't know, just something that's not followed or adhered to at all.
Gross.
Yeah, dirty.
Manky, sticky carpet, sticky arms,
chairs. Seats with questionable stains, things of that nature.
Man, that's gross.
Yeah, it's pretty
Mel and I stayed in a cabin up in the Highlands of Victoria about 3 years ago, and we found a soiled franger down the back of the bed.
Ooh.
Condom for the international listeners.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah,
man.
No, not good at all. That's yuck.
That's so disgusting. That's so wrong. It's like a place of, you go away for a little retreat with your partner, and it's an intimate and beautiful time away from everything else, and then you see something like that and you realise it's not just an intimate place for you guys, it's been a place for previous
Someone
people.
has left their love behind.
Absolutely.
Gross.
Someone's been fucking in my bed.
Oh, okay. So
anyway, but Sydney was awesome. We did lots of fun stuff. We went and saw the Chuck Close exhibition, famous American artist, and visited Taronga Zoo, hit up a few record stores like Utopia, picked up a DVD there for $4.95. And we went and saw like a movie every single day we were there.
Very cool.
So it was awesome. It was a really cool getaway on a budget.
Very much needed, I suppose.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it was really genuinely holiday. So thanks for asking.
What else have we been doing? You and I went and saw Malcolm at
we did
at Nova with
absolutely.
Nadia Tass and David Parker in attendance, and I got to sit next to Nadia Tass.
You were next to a stream cinematic.
I wanted to hold her hand at one point. I could see her hand there itching towards mine.
Right, yeah.
It's like I just had to say no, Nadia.
Yeah. Well, you're spoken for.
I am.
Plus, you had your other hand in the popcorn that had the hole in the bottom that was sitting on my lap.
Yes.
So there's not so much you can do.
Well, that's right. Good time.
I was one seat away from Malcolm.
You were?
Because there was a chap that jumped up during the Q&A and had mentioned that he had Asperger's and had found that the film spoke to him for many years. And it was before that Asperger's was actually,
defined.
Coined. Yeah, defined as it were. It was just considered as a form of autism, and autism was really just considered mental illness back then. Yeah. And so that was kind of moving when he jumped up and had his little speech, because it was like, wow, okay, that's fucking
And
cool.
when he first jumped up, people weren't sure if he was serious, and then when they realised he was, the whole crowd sort of mellowed out and went, oh.
Absolutely. It was the best question I'd heard out of, because that's the thing with Q&As at these things, which is sad, but more often than not, you get people that either just want to hear the sound of their own voice, or they ask the most inane, dumb questions, and they might even get an answer, but then they still press for more information. Like someone asked David Parker, so the print we're watching now, is that the remastered blah 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 blah, and he's like, oh no, it's just the interpositive of the film from the original negative blah blah blah, and he said exactly, and she goes, so it's a remaster with 5.1. He's like, no, Because he explained it.
DCP.
Mono, yeah, exactly. It was a DCP.
Yeah.
You know, look, I understand that not everyone's film literate in that respect, but sometimes these Q&As, you know, and
that's where you've got to understand that you don't know the lingo, so shut the fuck up.
Yeah, exactly. If you don't have a question, don't ask. You know, maybe just let Adam Elliott, you know, talk some more.
And Adam Elliott was Master of Ceremonies for the evening.
Absolutely. I did actually have a question, you know, about now, and it didn't come to me until on my way home after we parted. And that was, there's a scene where Malcolm is talking. Oh, sorry, not Malcolm. It's one of the tenants that take up the female that takes.
John Hargraves was the
it was the male, the partner.
I can't remember.
She's
the name
talking to the convenience store lady, you know, the milk bar, and the milk bar lady says, she goes, you know, what his mother did to him was, you know, a damn crime or something like da 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 da. And like it alludes to maybe there's a little bit more backstory in the script. But they did say they didn't shoot any more of the film than you saw on screen.
I'm guessing it was referring to the fact that she kept him under lock and key.
Absolutely. It kept him in a sort of sheltered lifestyle.
Didn't expose him to the world. It's a PG version of Bad Boy Bubby.
Totally. Yeah. It's a great movie. Like, honestly, watching it on the big screen and watching it with an audience. And there was a lot of people that had brought their children along, so it was obviously the first time they'd seen the film.
And they've seen the cut that they left the sex scene in.
Totally.
That was interesting.
They saw it, like we saw it in the 80s.
Yeah, that's right.
What a good film, man. Like, it holds up. It is just a beautiful film, and it captures so much of Melbourne's iconography, apart from just a trend.
It's about as charming as an Australian film can get, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And just to watch it with them in attendance, the filmmakers themselves.
Incredible.
Just really cool.
Absolutely incredible.
Very, very cool. So that was an awesome experience. What else have we been doing? We earlier this week we interviewed Richard Wollstonecroft from Melbourne Underground Film Festival. We posted the interview with him recently. So definitely check that out. It's quite interesting, and it's on our website as well.
That's it. And we've actually got some involvement with the Melbourne Underground Film Festival this year. I believe is it media partners?
We are.
So we'll be covering some stuff.
We're doing quite a few coverage across the festival. Not sure exactly what capacity or like where we'll be facilitated and all that, but you know, it'll be interesting anyway. Hoping to get some juicy stuff for you.
Yeah, hopefully get some interviews and whatnot.
Definitely interviews.
I heard rumours that there might be a documentary about the seminal 2003 Brisbane film Lesbo Go-Go screening. I certainly hope so, because word on the street that documentaries,
phenomenal. The
words
words are flying around.
I didn't say it.
The praise has been flying.
Well, yeah. That's just from my mum on the IMDb message boards.
Pretty handsome cast too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Particularly, yes. Okay, so moving on.
Okay, cool. Well, look, not much else. I mean, you also recorded the March collection update.
We did. Oh, I did. Yes, I did that. I did that this week.
Which was that was a really good one.
There was a lot of stuff to get through, but shit. It's been a costly month.
Your leaning tower of DVDs.
Dude, the first time I started recording within the first... that was the second take, because the first one, they literally fell everywhere. I was like, okay. What else have we done? I feel like we've done more this week. You've been in the movies every second day.
Yeah, it's been good. I've also been collaborating with Billy Crank, the American comedian. I've been writing some episodes for an upcoming web series we're trying to get off the ground. In the meantime, we're starting to upload a whole lot of old footage that he's done from before he had this new direction in mind. Right. So just to sort of wet the whistle and keep the Facebook page up to date, we're just doing new videos of old videos. So
and there's a lot of interaction from fans on there. Like there was one, you were going to post a video if he hit 30 shares or something, and it hit like 50 shares.
The first video we posted, he said, we will share another video if we hit 25 shares. And within like 6 hours, we got 35 shares.
Incredible.
Another 2 videos have gone up. The rate has slowed down a bit, but that's only because it's a different kind of content. So the content that of the first one was what fans were looking for, because it's a particular character.
Right.
Anyway, so I've been doing that. It's been fun. It's been occupying a lot of my time.
Yeah.
But that's about all we've done in between episodes. It's been 4 weeks, but there's been a lot of work involved too.
It has, absolutely. Like, I can't even recall. Like when we do our rapid fire list of movies later on, I'm almost ashamed to say I think this is the first month in many months that I've not watched enough movies. And it's not for lack of trying. It's just the time. It's just been impossible. It's been so much going on.
Weird time of year, man. There's a lot of demands on people.
Absolutely.
All right, well, let's move forward. I want to talk about obscure movies. Let's put this sort of first on the agenda tonight.
Excellent. Well, you want to break the ice tonight?
Funny you say break the ice, because that is a good segue, I suppose.
Right.
Should I give you a synopsis and see if you can guess it, or should I tell you the title?
I'm totally up for that. But your obscurities are generally super fucking obscure. So.
Right. I'll give you a synopsis, tell you who's in it, and then you can try and guess. So, after a tragic and violent past and being abolished from their tribe, two Inuit women, a mother and daughter, live alone, secluded in the far reaches of the Arctic tundra. Their existence is one of survival and harsh conditions. And over the course of months, the film takes a very dark and violent turn after they find a man who's injured in the middle of nowhere, and they start to look after him. Throughout the events, there are flashbacks to the woman's past, which reveals to be very violent and shocking.
Right.
Won't say much more, because if people are keen on this, it would give too much away. But it stars Sean Bean and Michelle Yeoh from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and a few others. Any ideas? The director is Asif Kapadia, who did Senna, the documentary Senna.
Right, okay.
And the film The Return, the original Asian version.
Did the Sarah Michelle Gellar?
That's the remake of his film.
I didn't realise it was a remake. Yeah. I haven't seen it. Is that worth watching, The Return? Either version?
The original, definitely.
Right, okay, yeah.
And he also did a film called The Warrior.
Right.
Any guesses?
The Warrior? Not that Warrior.
Not the American
Not the
Warrior.
Joel Edgerton.
I don't think so.
Not that boxing.
I don't think so. I think it's a martial arts film.
Right, okay.
Anyway, it's Far North, 2007 film called Far North.
Never heard of it.
No, check it out. It's very ghastly.
Anything like Due South, that comedy series from the early 90s?
No. But the thing about this film that I like the fact it's very confrontational. It's very hard to watch at times, particularly the finale. But the stark landscapes are shot beautifully. It reminds me of a cross between the movie Map of the Human Heart, which I talked about.
Yeah, when you started this, I thought, oh, is this going to be...
I've already done that one.
Yeah, I thought you did the other film by the same director,
Vincent Ward. Well, but I've already discussed it.
Yeah,
and it feels like a cross between that and a movie called Himalaya, if you remember that.
Yes,
beautiful.
It's got the pretty girl on the front.
Yeah,
pretty woman on the front.
Yeah,
not
so
Julia
that's
Roberts.
that's my obscurity
for
the time being. To me, it's not obscure because Sean Bean's in it. I've seen it in a lot of places, and the poster art is familiar. But I'm sure there's a lot of people that don't know of it. Just like yourself.
You generally get me every week with one of these obscurities.
Far North, definitely worth a look.
Cool. Yeah, no, it sounds like it's definitely worth a watch.
Wicked. What about yours?
Okay, so the one I've gone for is, if anyone watched the collection update already, it is one of the ones from the collection update. It's a little film from 1995 called Living in Oblivion.
I knew it would be.
It's a great movie.
Fantastic. And I almost had in mind to watch that before tonight so that I could be up to speed with you. I have seen it years ago. Great film.
And honestly been years since I saw it last. I think I recorded in the video collection update. I first saw it at the Chanel in Brisbane at the Queensland University. I dragged my sister along. We loved it. I saw it countless times on video. And then just hadn't seen it for about a decade or so. And introduced the wife to it, and we both, had a laugh and enjoyed it. Look, a really brief synopsis of it is, it's an independent film crew making an indie movie, and it's all the tropes of making an indie film, plus loads of references to things from everything from Quentin Tarantino, who at that time was still quite
and working
indie.
with Buscemi,
and had worked with Steve Buscemi in the past, and Steve Buscemi plays the lead, plays the filmmaker. The story is actually told from several different perspectives. You've got the perspective of the lead actress, which is Catherine Keener, who goes topless in the film. She gets her boobs out.
I don't remember. I will have to rewatch this.
So there's boobs in there, and I think she would have been in her early 30s at the time.
Something sexy.
She's never been a young actress.
She's
always been. She is absolutely.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
The only thing I didn't like was her pits are a little hairy, and there's hairy pits. And Danny was the first to point it out. I didn't have my glasses on.
I didn't have glasses on.
It was very weird. And then when I looked on the IMDb message board, a lot of people comment about the hairy pits.
Distracting.
Yeah, I think it was a bit distracting. But anyway, Catherine Keener's the lead actress in the production. Then you've got what's his name, Dermot Mulroney.
Yep.
He obviously, every time I think of him, I think of My Best Friend's Wedding, and then I think 10 years later he turned into an old man.
It's funny, you instantly go to that film, whereas I go to Young Guns.
Oh yeah, Young Guns. Yeah, true. I probably have a softer spot for my Best Friend's Wedding. Funnily enough, isn't that weird? Yeah, and I hate Julia Roberts, but I love Rupert Everett. I think he's great, and Dermot Mulroney. Anyway, he's in it. He's got a patch on his eye. I think his name's like Wolfie or something like that. He's hilarious, but it's told from all these different perspectives. But it's pretty much told from their perspective in a dream of how they perceive that day is going to turn out, and seemingly everything that could go wrong goes wrong. Peter Dinklage turns up in it in a hilarious role as, obviously a smaller person, a dwarf. who questions whether people really have dreams of dwarves in it, or whether it's just stupid independent movies that have dwarves in dream sequences.
I don't remember that.
He's really good. Yeah, he's really good in it. It's one of the standout moments for me.
Great.
But hilarious film, and it's still so relevant, and it's cool because it is a bit of a postcard of that kind of filmmaking in that period, and very similar to in a way similar to that other film that I watched recently, the Eric Schaefer film My Life's in Turnaround. But yeah, very smart, very witty, and the director is what's his name, Tom DeCilio, I think it is. He directed Johnny Sway with Brad Pitt.
Yep.
That was his first film, like 91. But then more recently, the last thing he sort of directed, done a lot of TV stuff like Monk and shit like that. But more recently, he did the Doors documentary in 2009, When You're Strange. But yeah, look. It's also the director. Yep. That's what I meant to mention. I read this. Interesting. He actually was the cinematographer on a lot of Jim Jarmusch's earlier films, like Stranger Than Paradise and Perfect Vacation.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and it really works with that sort of aesthetic. But anyway, so yeah,
it's also a movie that you can find in a lot of bargain bins.
Totally. But start looking now. You'll find it in the bargain bins, but mainly the second-hand ones because it was through Magnum Pacific.
Yep.
But now it's deleted.
Okay, so I've seen it in a lot of news agency bins and things,
because they did do a lot of the Magna, and I think Beyond distributed some of the Magna stuff.
I picked it up for $2 through brand new, sealed through a news agency.
I think I ended up paying about $5 or $6 off eBay.
Still worth it.
Not anamorphic locally, but big deal. Just zoom in and you get the action. There's a trailer on it. The US one's got an audio commentary, so I may actually upgrade one of these days. But Living in Oblivion, 2 thumbs up. Fine holiday fun.
Excellent. All right, so let's push on to our focus film of the week, which is a marvellous little film, which I actually chose as one of my obscurities months ago, I suppose.
Back in the early days.
And it is Robert Shaye's The Last Mimzy.
Did you draw this?
I've got lots of them.
May I borrow these?
Borrow all you want. Trade you for an A.
It's a map to the past and future.
Pass me the sugar. This is so far out of my league.
And we have to get help.
Your children's brain activity is completely off the charts.
We've dreamed about creating artificial life, but we are eons away from achieving anything like this.
The people in the future need our help.
This is crazy.
Well, please let her finish.
Something in them is broken, and we can fix it.
You want everybody out of here. Let's get this shut down.
Come on, we have to hurry. Can I drive?
Yeah, let the kid drive.
The Last Mimzy.
The Last Mimzy. Tell us a little bit about The Last Mimzy. What's the story?
The Last Mimzy is a wonderful science fiction adventure for kids, I suppose. It's a real throwback film to movies like E.T., even a bit of Flight of the Navigator in there.
Oh, yeah, totally, yeah.
And it's about...
like a smart Flight of the Navigator.
And it is a smart film, It's very scientifically based, and it's a film about 2 children that find a mysterious box on a beach that has a whole lot of mysterious things in it. One of them being a teddy bear, which is the Mimzy of the film's title. And the box reveals a whole lot of magic, and the magic leads to particular sort of scientific time travel, time warp, wormhole kind of theories. And you don't want to unravel too much of the film because it is a mystery as it plays on.
Strangely complex for a kids film.
It is, but kids do get it.
Family film. I wouldn't say kids film.
No, but family film. I agree, family film. But look, it's directed by Robert Shaye, who's the president of New Line. Is he still the president?
No, he's former
Ousted.
CEO. Yeah.
At the time, he was though.
He was.
When he made this film, he was the head of New Line, and it stars who's it got in it? It's got Rainn Wilson,
Dwight Schrute from The Office.
Yeah.
Schrute Beats.
It's got what's his Duncan? What no?
Timothy Hutton.
Timothy, no, but I'm talking the Green Mile guy. What's his name?
Oh, Michael Clark Duncan.
That's it.
Yeah.
And Timothy Hutton. And,
Yes.
And it's just a really, really cool.
Yeah.
Well, it's the first time you've seen it, so
I've never seen it.
I'm really keen to get your thoughts on it.
I was really, I remember you mentioning this one on the podcast a number of months ago, and it sort of had stayed in my mind. And then when you mentioned it this week, I was like, I want to see that movie. Just because I'd never seen Bob Shaye direct anything. He's always been a producer and studio head. It was a real throwback to the films I grew up on, whether it be those sort of sci-fi kind of adventure films from the late 70s, early 80s, right through to, even, to a lesser extent, kind of like, like the Goonies and stuff like that, because these two kids were on this kind of adventure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a little bit like, although later in the piece, because we're talking probably early 90s now, at 91, The Wizard, with Fred Savage.
Yeah, definitely.
You got the kid doing the cross-country sort of,
And all of those films have in common the fact that the parents are on the outside, sort of, trying to figure out what the hell's going on with their kids.
Absolutely. And the kids are very switched on and much smarter than we ever were at that age.
That's right. And in this film, the kids get smarter as the film goes on.
That's one of the strongest things, I think, is the child performers, which sadly we looked on IMDb and they haven't really gone on to do a lot. But both of them are extremely capable.
Definitely.
Really, the delivery, the chemistry between the
You
two
particularly picked up on the little girl. I
Mm.
picked up on the boy. I thought his reactions were fantastic and genuine. There's a lot of really interesting cinematography. Did you notice the use of reflection?
Yeah, absolutely.
One particular scene where Rainn Wilson opens a book and flips it, and we only see the contents through the reflection in his glasses.
Yeah. And
that was
there's
so
another
cool.
one where he was looking, the boy, and during the power outage.
Yeah.
And you catch the reflection of his face on the window, and
Yes.
it's pretty much, the Seattle cityscape, including that Space Needle. All the lights go out, and you just saw his face. It was like nice touches like
and
that.
And those touches are also very sort of much in relation to the film itself. Like there's an overall story of kind of a reflective glare that surrounds these children. So,
and that's the thing, the color palette in the film too. You commented when we started watching it how great it would look on Blu-ray in high definition. It is a beautiful, very colourful, very vibrant type of film. I think it was fantastic. And the score, it was like, I remember you saying to me about the score, and I said, dude, since the movie started, it feels like there's been
it's
not
cinematic.
a second of silence. Yeah, it was really orchestral. It was a real throwback. Really, it was a throwback to kind of like the John Williams, real rich, big scores.
Yep.
It's Howard Shaw.
Absolutely, I know.
Howard Shaw behind.
With some contributions from Roger Waters from Pink
Yes.
Floyd, and there's a few Pink Floyd references to Dark Side of the Moon, obviously with the cover art being similar in theme. To
and Rainn Wilson wearing the T-shirt.
Yeah. And look, I haven't researched it, but I'm pretty certain that the science behind it, with all of the geometry and whatnot,
is 100% accurate.
Would be as accurate as they could probably get it within a fictional realm.
Yeah.
I mean, it's based on a book. I'm sure the book is well researched.
Yes, and that's a point that you raised with me, was that Bob Shaye obviously had only directed one film prior to this, Book of Love, in 1990, but it said that he'd been a fan. This book had been out for 10 years prior to making the film.
He was a
fan
for a long time.
Yeah, so this was obviously something he had a close connection with and felt.
The head of a studio just doesn't drop what he's doing to make a film unless he's going to be passionate about it. And that's a really interesting film to take on.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, it's good to know that a studio head has filmmaking experience and isn't just a know-it-all without experience.
Yeah.
Look, it's a marvelous film. I saw it years ago when it first got released and never heard of it before. There's no fanfare surrounding it.
No.
Australian cover art is fairly mediocre compared to some of the theatrical art is amazing. Yeah. So
I think, and this is the point I raised with you at the end. I think, and granted, obviously it's based on a book and all that. I think the film doesn't leap out because the title, The Last Mimzy, doesn't, and which is weird considering, it's a head of a studio and it's his film. Obviously he wants to stay true to the source material, but it doesn't really tell you much about the film at all. It kind of needs, like Close Encounters of the Third Kind, E.T. the Extraterrestrial, those titles, they tell you immediately what you're kind of expecting.
Yeah.
This doesn't really give you too much to go on. I think Last Mimzy, I think of it's like a costume designer from the 60s, like Edith Head or someone like that. It's like, and she was the last Mimzy. She was terrific.
It's a documentary.
Was very elegant, and
look, I get what you're saying, but I mean, once you watch the movie, The Last Mimzy is a perfect title.
Yeah, I think you warm to it totally. Absolutely, makes sense.
But I suppose too, Rob Shaye being in the power that he's got, he could afford to do it his way without.
Absolutely,
he had no one to answer.
He was spending those Lord of the Rings dollars, dude. The house that Freddie built, but the one that fucking Lord of the Rings. deck that place out.
Damn straight.
It's
That's the
nice
extension,
furnishings.
biatch.
Exactly. Yep.
So look,
that's how he lost his job at the studio.
Yeah,
he
probably.
made
He made the last
movie.
Mimzy. Damn.
Oh, poor
and
Bugs.
hey, there's no Lynn Shaye in this one, which
No,
is very.
Robert Shaye,
That's a
dude.
first for a Robert Shaye production.
Yeah, it's highly unusual. She must have been tied up doing something at the time.
Yes.
Possibly you. Because you admitted you had a little bit of a soft spot for Lynn Shaye.
Well, this was,
Maybe not a soft spot, even.
No, it's a hard spot.
Yeah.
Wet spot.
I was going to say, that's how it ends. But
yeah. No, in certain angles, I
of
suppose,
course.
there's something alluring
Not in
about
Kingpin.
it. Never in Kingpin.
Not with, you better check your tongue.
Oh, I love Lynn Shaye. She's awesome.
Yeah, she's good. She's a great character actress. Really.
So our focus film, go see it, The Last Mimzy. Hire it, find it online.
Yeah.
There's DVDs all over eBay, really
Seek
cheap.
that sucker out.
Yeah, unfortunately no Blu-ray, but I hope one day there will be. I doubt it though.
Yeah, it's hard to say. With Warner owning New Line now, it's probably going to be increasingly.
But hey, it still looked great on DVD anyway.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So I want to do some giveaways. Is that okay
Cool.
with you?
Yeah, man. Give some shit away.
Well, like we did last time, our Asylum films, the giveaway last time, got snapped up. Craig Harris scored the Mega Shark trilogy, and I actually...
Thanks, Craig, for sending us the photo of you holding all the titles. Oh, no, you didn't.
Yeah, you did.
I did?
Yeah.
Oh. Sorry, Craig.
Yeah, Craig.
Sorry, Craig.
And I also threw
I never
in...
saw the photo. Did we put that up?
I haven't shared it on fake
Okay.
shameful.
You're keeping it all to yourself, mate. Is he wearing clothes?
He's not in it. He's laid them out on his table, and he's
Oh, he's not in it.
He's proud of them though.
I want to see him holding the titles.
Well, I also threw in Mega Piranha for good measure.
Oh, that's nice.
Little secret stash there.
Excellent.
So, and also the other giveaway we did was the Phasma Ex Machina and Ghostmaker, and that went to Sam Doherty, who's won a few of our competitions. He's an astute listener.
Did he get a copy of John Doe Vigilante?
I believe he may be the winner of that one.
Excellent. Now, who did the cinematography on that one, sir?
David Parker.
Yeah, there you
of
go.
Malcolm fame and so many other films.
So many films.
And we
He
covered...
was a still photographer on Farlap.
Well,
Yeah, we remember he mentioned he did still photography for about 10 years.
And we covered the Nadia Tass David Parker body of work in our Australia Day episode.
We did cover that rather extensively.
If you're interested in their work, go back and listen to that. The top episode.
Absolutely.
So this week we're going to give away another stash of Asylum titles. I got two to be exact. One of my favourites actually, I watched it recently, is Nazis at the Centre of the Earth.
Who's in that one? Now there's someone famous in that, isn't there? Sorry, I put you on the spot, didn't I?
Yeah, Richard Grieco, maybe? Oh,
Jake Busey.
Jake Busey,
Jake Busey's in it.
Yes.
I haven't seen Jake Busey for years.
Yeah.
I love Jake Busey. He's
Look,
great
this
in
one
Frighteners.
is one of my favourite Asylum
And Dominic
films.
Swan.
Dominic
Is that a girl
Swain,
or a guy?
yeah. Dominic Swain from Lolita.
Oh, the girl.
Yeah.
That played Lolita.
Yeah.
Right, she grew up.
Yeah. She's kind of hot too.
Yeah.
But anyway, look, this film I like a lot. It's the Asylum obviously do mockbusters, and this is sort of taking on the whole Iron Sky kind of thing. And it's very surprisingly gory. It's a very gnarly kind of film, and we're going to give that away with also a copy of The Terminators, which is a classic Asylum title.
Now it's got Jeremy London in it. Now Jeremy London, he's the one. Is he the
Party
one from
of Five?
Mallrats?
Yeah.
He's the one from
Yeah,
Mallrats.
he's one from Mallrats, yeah.
Because he's got the brother Jason London, and there's the two of them. But Jeremy London's the one from Mallrats. Jason London, I think, is the older one.
Which
He
one's
was in-
from
I
Party of
think-
Five?
I think that's Jeremy London.
Yeah, Jeremy
that was
London.
in Mallrats, yeah.
Yeah.
And Jason London was in the Barefoot Executive
Course.
movie with the chimp in it.
There you go.
Yeah.
So The Terminators
and Paul Logan. Not to be confused with Paul Hogan. Paul Logan.
Paul Logan, that's right. So we're giving these away, and look, I don't think you should ever turn your nose up at an Asylum title. I think they're so much fun. The cover art is pretty cool, even though Terminators leaves a bit to be desired.
Yeah.
But Nazis at Centre, it's very cool.
Very cool.
And look, the way people can win this is be obviously the first person to send us a private message and answer the following question, and that is, what is the Asylum's Australian connection? The Asylum has a very, very significant Australian connection, and if they can answer that, be the first person to do so, they will win those movies.
Good luck.
And we've also got
another competition.
We've also got some Eagle Entertainment love to give.
Excellent.
And this one is a film that I really liked. I did review it. It's called The Colony, and it stars Lawrence Fishburne and Bill Paxton. And it's sort of a wintry post-apocalyptic thriller set in a frozen wasteland, and it's very reminiscent of The Thing, kind of meets Ravenous.
Yeah.
So the question that goes with this one, to win a copy, which I highly recommend you'll go
What
for.
was Lawrence Burn, Bill, what was he? Who was he billed as?
What tablet did he take? What tablet did he take?
Actually, I was at an engagement party, my auntie's engagement party the other week, and there was this older chap there of an Asian persuasion, and he had the Morpheus-like glasses on, he had the shaved head, and he looked a bit like an old Morpheus, and I kept going to Danny,
he doesn't take the pills, he gives them out.
He does. That's what gets the party started. He's like Bill Cosby.
That's right. He
gives you the pills.
The pop with the poppers.
Yeah. And then he starts a popping you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
sorry.
You've taken it. So to win a copy of The Colony, all they've got to do is be the first private message revealing the name of the lead actor who starred in the director's first feature film, which was 1.0. So there you go.
That's a challenging one.
Internet.
Yeah, I was going to say,
internet is too easy, man.
But
look, and once again, choose which prize you want to go for. Don't try to claim them both because you won't get both.
No.
And now,
unless your name's Craig Harris, is he the one that always wins?
No.
Oh, sorry, I'm lost. I need to see a picture of you, Craig.
All right,
and then I can. I don't know.
Craig, you've shared the love with me. Jarret wants some of it.
Yeah, send me those photos.
So let's just fuck that off, and we'll go straight to the guilty pleasures.
Guilty pleasures.
You're going first this time because
I can do that.
I went first with the last one.
No dramas, sir. The my guilty pleasure is another one I covered in this week's collection update. And in fact, I've got some good news because in the collection update, I did mention for this particular film they released a 7-inch single of the song from the film. The film's called Night Train to Terror, and it's from 1985, but it's actually made up of 3 feature films that have been, sawn down into
butchered.
Shorts. Yes, but in all the right ways. I imagine that these 3 films, as films, probably wouldn't have worked. I haven't watched Redder, which is the one that comes the bonus with the Blu-ray. It's actually got a full feature there. I will get to it. But they, I don't know if they'd work as features, but in terms of this short film anthology, because they are.
And what year was this?
Well, the film was released in 85, but the films within them are roughly sort of like anywhere between 80 to 82.
So Terror Train had come along.
Terror Train had been and gone, yes.
Right, so this is a cash-in title, maybe?
Possibly, yeah. I mean, it's striking cover art.
Not that you try and cash in on Terror Train, because it's not exactly like a box office bonanza.
No, it's a thriller second type of film, make lots of cash. But yeah, Night Train to Terror, so made up of 3 short films, feature films turned into shorts, with a wraparound story, and the wraparound story is all set on a train with God and the devil, sort of like fighting for some lives and mortals and all the different stories. And in the front carriage, you've got this bunch of youths who are, I guess the best way I could put it is they kind of look like fluorescent spandex MTV fashion models that have overdosed on something 80s. I don't know. I've just lost the track.
No, it sounds like.
But there's breakdancing.
It sounds like Duran crossed with Fido Dido, man. It's like.
Yeah, it sounds about right. Yep. I think that's a pretty accurate description. But yeah, with a little Ultimate Warrior thrown in, but no muscles. And yeah, they're dancing in the front carriage, and they're dancing along to this song, which is called Everybody But You. And, well, they lip sync it. They don't actually perform it. And we constantly, between the 3 stories, we cut back to Devil and God, and we cut back to the front carriage, where they're just seemingly on loop, on an eternal loop, singing this song until, their fate is decided upon by Devil and God.
It's like a night train to purgatory.
Yeah, absolutely. And this song is so good. This song, Everybody But You. I don't know if I can sing it tonight, only because I can't get the tune in my head, but I will read you some lyrics from the song.
Make up a tune.
Okay. Daddy's in the dining room, sorting through the news. Mommy's at the shopping mall, buying new shoes. Everybody's got something to do. Everybody but you. Everybody but you.
Everybody but me.
Everybody but you. Yeah, so it's an awesome song, and I did manage to get on 7-inch today. It's going to cost me about $27 Australian ship from the United States for one fucking song that I probably won't even put on, but I own it.
We're fucking losers, man.
We are losers.
We're really
I'm surprised I'm not living in my mother's garage. One of the highlights of this film for me is the wraparound stories, when it cuts to the wraparound stories. You've got shots obviously within the train, but the external shots of the train are terrific because the external shots of the train actually look inferior to the train model I owned when I was 11.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it looks shit. I just kept laughing going,
oh, personal connection to a film, man.
That doesn't look good, does it, Daddy? That looks fake. And she's like, yes. And I'm like,
of course, you chose this guilty pleasure to tie in with Malcolm with all the model trains.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
I'm obsessed now. I'm a total train spotter. Another thing I was going to mention is, like, the first story is awesome because it's ridiculously gory. There's loads of boobs. It's everything you could want from, like, a genre sort of thing. It makes no fucking sense. But then at a point toward the end of the story where I'm like, I'm not following what is going on, but I'm enjoying it. There is, like, narration, like this expository narration.
From nowhere?
Yeah, so it just explains everything you've just watched and where it's going to kind of end up, so then they can put in the final scene. And I was like, well, I got none of that from this, and I'm not going to spoil it, because that's a great plot twist when the narrator comes in and says,
by the way.
And now, yes. So that was a particular highlight. Yeah, look, it is shit.
Yeah.
There's no doubt it's shit. But it's fucking entertaining.
Oh,
and it's so fun. I wanted to watch it again.
I have to get my chops around that because I reckon I've seen it years ago, but obviously don't remember much about it. So I'm very, very keen to get back to it.
I can't endorse it enough. Night Train Sarah is two super enthusiastic thumbs up. Bill Cosby's anus.
Yeah. Excellent. That's all we need to know.
Excellent.
My guilty pleasure, I hate the fact that I have to sort of refer to it as guilty pleasure. The reason I do is simply because in the grand scheme of things, it's considered one of the worst films of all time. I think it always makes the list.
It's not Howard the Duck, is it?
It's not Howard the Duck.
I just heard
I was Howard the Duck. I was Howard the Duck stooge, man.
Can't believe some people wouldn't believe that's a cult.
That's a cult. It's a fucking cult classic, man.
In fact, one of our guests, was it, what's his name?
Talked about it being a cult classic.
Daniel Armstrong. Yeah. I'm sure he picked that as his guilty pleasure.
He sure did. Anyway, cult classic. Yeah. But my guilty pleasure is The Exorcist 2, The Heretic.
Oh, no way.
Yes.
Did you see someone comment on Facebook about this?
Yes. Wait a second. Hang on a second. Because no sooner had I selected this.
Right.
Trailers from Hell posted it. Eli Roth did a commentary of the trailer because he hates the film but loves the trailer. But then Trailers from Hell put a disclaimer on their website, and I'll read it out to you because I completely agree. Yeah. It says, where are we? It says, some of us at Trailers from Hell, in particular our fearless leader Joe Dante, regard John Borman's ill-fated sequel as one of the most prodigiously... I don't even know if that's a word. Prodigiously? Prodigiously.
I'm playing the prodigious dude. No,
prodigiously
racist.
Imaginative and intellectually audacious, if dramatically inert studio movies of the decade. Mangled after its disastrous opening, it's since been restored on DVD. But then I'll also go to a quote because William Friedkin, the director of the original Exorcist, thinks it's the worst film ever made. But he would, wouldn't he?
Well, he's very outspoken.
That's right.
But John Borman directed fucking Deliverance. Like,
that's
he's
right.
Quite a few good films. Did he do Outlander as well? The one with, was that him?
Yeah.
No,
that's Peter Hyams.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
But Borman's done a lot. Merlin and Excalibur. Yeah. But anyway, after Friedkin ragged on it, Scorsese chimed in, and this is his quote, is the picture asks, does great goodness bring upon itself great evil? This goes back to the book of Job. It's God's testing the good. In a sense, Reagan is a modern-day saint, like Ingrid Bergman in Europa 51, and in a way like Charlie in Mean Streets. I like the first Exorcist because of the Catholic guilt that I have, and because it scared the hell out of me, but The Heretic surpasses it. Maybe Borman failed to execute the material, but the movie still deserved a lot better than what it got. And I couldn't agree more, and I watched it again last night just to refresh myself, because I've always liked the film, and I like it simply because I've always banged on to you about why I like Part 2s.
Yes,
because
absolutely.
It's a film that doesn't try to emulate the original. It doesn't try to...
Like 3 really did,
3 was like, well,
it's a great film, but it really does.
2 sort of hit the rock bottom as far as critical reception. So number 3 they tried to get it back on track. Whereas number 2 I thought it was really audacious and it didn't try to emulate the original. It's a very interesting story. It's stupid. It is very stupid when you watch it because it's all about hypnosis and trying to bring the devil out via hypnosis, or both sort of tune into each other, and it does awesome flashbacks to Father Merrin's original African exorcism, which is referred to in the original and then redone later in the dumb sequels, the beginning and the Dominion. But anyway, look, it stars Linda Blair comes back, Louise Fletcher, who had just won the Academy Award for One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Oh, yes.
She agreed to it straight after she won the award. Richard Burton, James Earl Jones.
She's in Flowers in the Attic too.
Yeah.
She plays the
Terrifying.
horrible
Yeah.
mother, the evil bitch.
She does. Yeah. James Earl Jones.
She's always evil.
Max von
Is she
Sydow
evil in
comes back.
Exorcist too?
No, she's the hypnotherapist.
Okay.
She's a good character, but she's very stern at the same time.
Okay.
She's
Bitch
really
face.
look. She really is emulating Ellen Bernstein's character from the
Yeah.
first one, and she looks the same in a lot of scenes.
Right.
But not the same character.
Okay.
And Ned Beatty has a really small cameo as a pilot, which is really interesting.
Right.
But it's just a very interesting film. It's got the references to the Locust, which are biblical and whatnot, and it's very surreal in a lot of its context. Cinematography is amazing. A lot of, once again, reflections and mirrors. Clever mirrors where crew and equipment isn't reflected, but you're head on. You're looking straight on.
Clever,
So,
especially in that era too.
It's a very, very underrated, undervalued.
You know, I'm going to watch the movie this weekend because I've been saying I will.
If I'd known,
I even put it in the player one night, and
we should have watched it together.
No, I
Dan.
can't do it. I go because I know, but now's not the time. Okay, yeah, no, I'm doing it, dude.
It would have been really good to watch that together, actually,
Yeah.
have a discussion. But I love the fact that someone like Martin Scorsese has come out and said it's
really
better
cool.
than The Exorcist. Or it surpasses it.
Absolutely.
And it kind of does in the way it tries to get deep, and it just, like he said, does fail in its execution. It does come across as very silly because you've got Richard Burton with this contraption on his head trying to look into the lights and get hypnotized. And it's silly, but back then that kind of science was new, and it was sort of it plausible, I suppose.
Yeah.
But
Now,
anyway.
there's something about that film too. When that movie played theatrically, was there something that they changed, like the last reel of the film?
It got butchered because the first audience screening really failed. It just it bombed big time. So Borman went back and completely changed a whole lot of stuff. And that's kind of what Trailers for Hell were getting at when they said that it was sort of restored for its DVD release.
Okay.
I'm not sure which version's which. I mean, I should know. I haven't watched the film enough times over the years to distinguish the difference.
Right.
But I do know that I like what I see regardless of which version.
No, fair enough. No, I really,
The only thing the thing that probably annoys me a little bit is that Linda Blair came back, but on the proviso that she wasn't to put the makeup on again, like the devil makeup. So the scenes of Reagan possessed, which is sort of a subliminal imagery, it's another actress and another voice, so it doesn't quite play. But it only makes up probably about 2 minutes of screen time in total. So it's kind of easy to overlook.
You'd ask her to do it now. Well, I mean, she fucking will
repossessed.
Repossessed.
I know.
Yeah,
but
she'd do it now. She'd do anything for those dogs.
Those dogs
They need blankets.
They do.
All those animal hoarding dogs. She's got so many of them. I think she's got like 60 or 70 or something.
Many.
I'm dead serious.
So many dogs as a foundation.
So many dogs. So many dogs. It sounds like a hip hop band. So many dogs. DAWGS.
So many dogs on the dance floor. Too many dogs.
Get them dogs out of my face, otherwise I'm going to suck them out.
Oh, that's rough.
Oh, that's Bill Cosby. No, he would never do that. He only rapes the women.
Correct.
Sorry, I saw Jim Jeffries the other night. He was making lots of rape jokes about Bill Cosby. I'm not going to do that. I'm making jokes about Bill Cosby. You're being
very topical because comedy and rape is in the news at the moment. So
is this because of the whole? Oh, well, it is
Melbourne.
Partly,
The Melbourne Comedy Film Festival. Some comedian made a rape joke.
No, yeah, this is.
Oh, it's the same one.
This is Jim Jeffries. This is who I said last Saturday night. Yeah, and he did the first 5 minutes.
Were you at that?
I was at the show.
If you find a commercial on TV or radio or an advertisement in a newspaper, magazine or online that you think is offensive, violent or sexist, we want to know. So contact us, the Advertising Standards Bureau. That's just what we're here for. We'll give your complaint a fair hearing by people just like you from all walks of life. And if it's an issue that contravenes the advertising codes, we will act. It's so easy to lodge a complaint online. Just go to adstandards.com.au and the ASB will give your complaint the fair hearing it deserves.
You're allowed to be offended. You can take exception to something. So what? So fucking
you
what?
Can think about things that offended us 10 years ago to things that are now, and you think about stuff that you might see in American Dad or Family Guy.
Yes.
10 years ago, that would have been pretty fucking
outrageous,
offensive.
man.
That's on primetime television now. Anyway, it's just people.
Yeah.
That's comedy, though.
Yeah, that's right. It's subjective. Fuck this shit. Let's go to rapid fire.
Rapid fire. Okay.
We're already at that point in the time. Let's,
Really?
Well, yeah. I
We
mean,
killed it tonight.
yeah, gun. Great guns,
Yeah,
man.
no troubles.
We've even got time to talk about rape.
Oh God, no! Let's stop talking about it. We've just lost a few listeners we had. Like,
We really don't endorse it in any way.
no, we don't. God no. God no. God no. No. Calling out people like Bill Cosby, maybe. I mean, he's not convicted yet. There is a lot of allegations. So anyway, moving on to rapid fire. My first film is I Spit on Your Grave. No, I'm just kidding. It's not. It's awful. I'm totally not doing this. I'm sorry.
Officially worst podcast ever.
So yeah, you kick us off.
We're on the same opening film because straight after the last podcast,
Yes.
we went upstairs and we watched Clown, and the Eli Roth produced and starring Eli Roth.
Yes.
in like
Yes.
0.2 seconds of a frame.
And there's I watched a bit of people talking about this film on Facebook.
Yeah.
And the other day I saw someone shit rag this film, right? And then all these people jump in going, yeah, it's fucking boring and this and that. And I was like, I'm not even going to jump in on it. But, like, I enjoyed it.
I fucking loved it,
And when
man.
we watched it,
Yeah.
I likened it to The Fly. I said,
Yeah.
it's like The Fly, And then we read that it was pretty much...
Influenced by The Fly.
Influenced by The Fly. And then I saw someone else post about it, either this morning or yesterday morning.
Yeah.
On the same message board, Facebook group or whatever. And then a few people chimed in and actually did enjoy it. It just seems to be a bit polarising. It's a different...
Oh, but it's also a bandwagon. Once somebody hates
Yeah.
it, it's all in,
It's all
But
in.
yeah, Clown was really
I
fun.
thought it was good. It's different.
Cool. What did you watch next?
Unfinished Business, which you've seen as well.
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
That was enjoyable.
Yeah. I then watched Rock and Roll Exposed, the photography of Bob Gruen.
Right. I watched Top 5, which you've seen also.
Top
with Chris
5.
Rock.
It will be on my list.
Incredible film.
It was a fantastic
Definitely
film.
my top 10 this year.
Yeah, I reckon it might come in mine. We'll have to wait and see what
I
else
liked
comes
it. I
out.
want to watch it again.
I watched Midnight Cowboy.
I watched The Theory of Everything.
Then I watched 2010, the year we made contact.
Then I watched Chappie.
Chappie. I watched Unfinished Business.
I watched Focus.
And then I watched...
Did you watch Focus?
No, that's next
It's
on the
okay.
list. Yeah. Someone raved about it the other day and it put me off. The fact
it's a
were
con
raving.
man movie, a confidence man movie, and the best con in the movie is done halfway through, and the con at the end is nowhere near as good as the con in the middle. The con in the middle is terrific.
I'll get there.
Yeah. It's no The Sting.
Okay.
It's no Grifters.
It's no The Sting 2.
No.
Let's Be Cops.
Lady Stay Dead, which is a really misogynistic shit Australian film from 1980 that does have a bit of rape in it, and it was really confronting and upsetting.
So then I watched...
it was really disturbing.
Off topic.
I didn't like it at all.
Then I watched...
I watched it with the wife too. I'm like, fucking, why did I choose to watch this?
Then I watched Chappie.
Then I watched Chillers.
And then I watched Shocker.
Double
Double West Grave and double warm.
No, not Chiller. No, Chillers, the one with them on the
the trauma
bus.
film.
Yeah, the anthology horror film.
Cool cover art.
cool
You
cover art.
You hated it.
It was shit. I watched it with Danny. I always want to keep it. So
You're killing me, man, because that's a movie I loved as a kid.
I know, I loved it as a kid too. It's got a cool cover.
I'm going to have to go back to that one, though.
It's funny.
See how I feel about it.
And then there's a special feature on it. It's one of those... I don't know, actually. It was one of those weird Troma special features.
Yeah.
And so I was just watching the special feature with Daddy afterwards. All this girl did was get her tits out and squeeze her tit a lot. And it went on for like about 5 minutes. I'm just sitting there next to Daddy going, well, she's just grabbing at a boob. And I think she was like quoting Shakespeare and stuff. It was like really random. And I was like trying to stop it and it just kept going.
Is this a breast I see before me?
Anyway, sorry.
That's alright. I watched then one called Goodbye World, which is an upcoming release from
that
Eagle
looks good.
Entertainment. It was very cool.
Adrian Greer? Is it his name or Greer? The guy from Entourage that plays Vinny Chase.
Correct.
I watched Kingpin.
Excellent. And then I watched The Rookie, the Charlie Sheen, Clint Eastwood
cool.
one, which I hated with a passion.
Right.
I remember loving that film.
I
watched
enjoyed
it
but I haven't
again.
watched it since the early
It's
90s.
way too long. It's really self-indulgent. Clint
Right.
Eastwood is a dick, and it's just a really shithouse
That's
film.
when Charlie Sheen was cool.
He was, and it was a cool film at the time, I recall, but it really did not play well with repeat viewing.
Right, okay, disappointing. I have Before Sunrise.
Cool, and I have Top 5.
Then I have Malcolm.
Excellent. I have Malcolm too.
Then I have Ghost in the Machine, or a.k.a. Phasma X Machina. What a movie.
Yeah,
Really good.
That's one we talked
Really
about
enjoyed
last
that.
episode. That was my obscurity.
Yeah, loved it.
wicked. And then I watched Albert Pune's Dangerously Close, which had a Blu-ray release, and the Blu-ray was stunning.
Oh, really cool. Where from? The US or Germany? Or?
US.
US.
It could be Germany. I can't remember.
Yeah.
I didn't even bother to
yeah.
pay attention. I just think that was just a random eBay purchase, wherever it was cheapest.
Cool.
But it's great on Blu-ray.
Excellent.
What was next for you?
Love Rosie, which I will just say avoid. Like, it was a turd.
Say no more. Then I saw Manny Lewis, which is the Australian film with Carl Barron. Kind of plays almost in. It's very similar to Top 5, the Chris Rock one. Obviously not quite as good, but it's very charming and
a bit like Funny People.
I suppose, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It is. It's about a stand-up comedian that's reflecting on their success and it's not quite fulfilling for them, and they want more out of life. But yeah, it's worth a look.
Yeah,
probably play well on home.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching that. Then I watched Living in Oblivion.
Yes, and I watched The Kingsman: Secret Service.
Fuck, that's
how
awesome.
amazing is that? That is in my top 5 so far.
Oh, it's so good. There's so many good moments.
And it's so violent. It's
so
ridiculously
really
violent.
Over the top. I'll never be able to look Colin Firth the same way. I'm like, you fucking
I don't think I've
dude.
seen Colin Firth that good.
He was so good in it.
Amazing.
Fucking killed it.
I came out of that film rubbing my hands with glee. I was
so
like,
good.
what did I just
Did you get so excited, though, as soon as the opening titles came up? And the building was exploding and the letters. I got excited. I turned to Danny and I'm like, I'm so excited. These opening titles.
I was sitting there by myself and turned to no one. I was like, did you see that?
That's amazing. That was instantly like, this film's going to be fucking
No,
cool.
you know what scene sold it for me right at the get-go, very early on, is when he's doing the chase down the street backwards.
Oh, yes.
And but the music's very comical. And the editing was so nicely
That's when they
done.
were at the pub. And
Yeah.
they left.
And they fly backwards. And it's just hilarious.
Yeah.
And, oh, mate, what a film.
It was a great movie.
I reckon that one will be on our top list at the end of the year.
Absolutely. Definitely.
Okay. And hang on, stark contrast, because the next one I watched was Run All Night, the new Liam Neeson one, which
I got past to see it.
fucking hated it.
Right, yes.
That will be in my bottom list.
It surprised me you hated it so much because I thought, generally you like most action films.
Yeah.
You're going to take something out of it, but you really dislike this one.
I rejected this one on every level. It was so forced, and the editing is horrible. It's like they got into post-production, thought we've got a real turkey on our hands. How are we going to make it look better? Yeah. So nearly every single scene is cut by a shot of the city where the camera goes across the city, down through the streets to the next house.
Okay,
or to the next location.
It's a weird sort of segue just to
every time. And it's like, well, shit, we've seen that, this is the 6th time we're only 5 minutes in. It's like, come on, no. And it's Liam Neeson doing Liam Neeson, which normally isn't a bad thing, but when he's got a very bad film behind it, it's Ed Harris... forced. It's just look, I rejected it. I hate it.
I do want to see it. It's weird because I don't normally go for those.
It's playing well. I hear it's playing well. I've heard customers of mine have come and seen it and they've told me that they loved it. But not.
But
for
anyway,
me.
okay.
Moving on.
Then I watched The Unseen, early '80s horror.
Yep.
Which was not as good as I remembered it. Look, it wasn't bad or anything. It was just underwhelming. Mind you, I will mention because I don't believe I mentioned it in the collection update. There is some boobs in it, and there's also some full frontal female nudity.
Vagine?
Yes, hairy. And then the chap that's in it, God, now I'm trying to think the old guy that's in it. What was he? Oh, he's fucking the guy from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, the one that has got to have the cigarettes. He's always got to have the pack of cigarettes.
Oh, and he's from Ghost? He's the guy on the train platform?
No, not that guy, not the real creepy guy. No, he's the one that's like, he stands up and he's, well, I just got to get my cigarettes,
Yes.
That guy.
He's not well known enough to
No,
know
he
names.
does those kind of parts, but he's in it. He's the one that's perving on the girl that's nude in the bathroom. It's okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I watched Ernest Goes to Jail, which I got on Blu-ray.
Yep. Awesome.
Love a bit of Ernest.
And I watched Night Train to Terror.
Excellent. And I then watched the Swell season, which was very underwhelming. It's the doco. About the Swell season, about Glenn Hansard. Not Glenn Hansard. Yeah, Glenn Hansard and the once people on their tour and their relationship, and that's boobs and vagine in that too.
Really?
Yeah,
boobs.
She gets they both get their gear off and go for a skinny dip.
Oh, okay.
It's all in black and white, very pretentious.
But it's a documentary, isn't it?
Yeah, a lot of performances in there too, like full length performances. The music's fantastic. Once is probably my top 5 all time favorite films.
Yeah.
So there's an interest in it for me from that aspect, but I think it goes from being very sort of fly on the wall to just really staged and deliberate. So anyway, it's worth a look. But
yeah, does it break a bit of the magic? Because you kind of get
not really, because everyone knows their backstory and how they came to be and how Once was created. Most people that love them do anyway. So anyway, it's interesting but not great.
So then I watched Snake Eyes by Brian De Palma,
which was covered in your collection update.
Yeah, what a film.
Yeah, and I watched There's Something in the Pelega, which is watched that again. That's great on even though it's only on DVD, it still looks great.
Yeah, I just picked it up, so I'm really looking forward to it. Hopefully I might get an opportunity to check that one out this week. I might do that and throwback back to back.
Cool, definitely do.
And then I did The Last Mimzy.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, that's where you end. Holy shit! Yeah. I'm not even halfway through.
No, oh god, yeah. I didn't get to do many films.
Cool, yeah.
It breaks my fucking heart looking at this tiny list of movies I saw. I'm convinced I saw more movies, but I mustn't have. Because I noted them down.
You've been a busy boy anyway.
It's been busy. And I can't even remember what I've been doing, but yeah.
Well, and I can round my list off. I then watched That's My Boy, the Adam Sandler film.
Yeah.
I love that. It's really funny.
I like that too, yeah.
And then Fargo, we watched that because I just finished the series, so I thought we'd go back to the movie. Which the movie, clearly a lot more comical, I suppose, because you got more of the accents that are pronunciated, yeah. Whereas the TV show didn't do that because that would be really annoying.
It would be too much.
13 episodes of you darn tootin', So
funny looking.
Funny looking.
The little one, he was uncircumcised. That was Irish.
Yeah, but it's kind of got the same lingo. But then I moved on to Wrong Turn 5 and 6.
Yes, okay. Because I remember you mentioned that because you wanted to watch 6,
but I couldn't do it.
To do 5 and 6. So,
both as shitty as each other, man.
I've got nothing to look forward to, do I? Because I got 4, 5, and 6. No, 4. You said 4 is pretty good.
4 is good.
On the spectrum of Wrong Turns, 4 is pretty good.
On the spectrum, 4 is the second best.
Okay, but I really like 2 actually.
I didn't mind 2, but I think 4 is the second best because it could play out as like a sequel to the first one, right? Because it looks the same, only it's winter instead of summer. And
Bloody Beginnings is it called? I think
could be. There's some great mental asylum, torture porn kind of razor wire stuff. Very cool. Anyway, 5 and 6, it was a real struggle, but I did it. Then I watched The In-Betweeners 2, which.
You didn't like it?
No, I didn't.
You didn't think it was funny?
No.
I thought it was funnier than the first one.
It is funny in the first one, but that says a lot.
But I think the first one was disappointing. But I wasn't... Look, I watched all 3 seasons, only...
I'm not a fan of In-Betweeners in general.
I didn't think it was that funny, the series.
Yeah.
I thought it had moments.
Yeah.
And I thought the first one just retreaded too much ground from the series.
Yeah.
And I think the characters started doing things that were completely out of character from what they had done in the series. But then I liked 2 because I think I had low expectations.
Probably why, but
it had some moments.
I thought number 2 really jumped the shark. It went too far into the absurd.
Yeah.
But anyway,
it's a beautiful montage sequence when they introduce the real geezer character who's been living in Sydney.
Oh, that was funny. Yeah, he wakes up every morning and get the blowjob.
Totally, yeah, it was like one of those absolute vodka commercials, Smirnoff vodka, where he's just
that was good. Look, it had its moments, no doubt, because we did have a few good laughs. But
I would want to watch that again.
It's not one I'll return to in a hurry.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I want to watch it again.
No. And then I watched Horns, the one with Daniel Radcliffe.
Yes,
liked that a lot.
Oh, I've seen Horns. Yeah, I didn't mind it. I've got to watch it again. I think I've got to watch it again because the first time I don't know. I think the way it was advertised, they pushed it as a real black comedy, but it was pretty dark.
It was, and it's much. It's a love story. It's a tragic love story. Yeah. I did like that one a lot. Then I went on to Stonehurst Asylum, which is a new Brad Anderson film.
Who?
Brad Anderson, who did The Machinist and Sessions 9.
Is that who it is?
And The Vanishing on 7th Street. Which I think he's disappointed me the last few films, like The Vanishing on 7th Street.
Yeah, that's the one where the electricity goes out. I haven't seen that one yet. Yeah,
didn't like that. I think Trans-Siberian was a bit underwhelming.
Yeah, it was a good concept. It was beautifully shot.
And then
but it wasn't
The Call with Halle Berry.
Did he do that?
Yeah.
This guy's busy. I actually like that.
And he's done a shitload of television.
Right, I liked The Call.
No, so
I thought The Call was going to be shit because Halle Berry was in it and looked like your standard.
Problem with The Call.
It was WWE and I was a bit worried.
Two problems with The Call. One was that I think the finale was terrible. I think it should have ended 10 minutes before it did because it just went into this female revenge film and it was just crap.
Yeah, it seemed unnecessary.
And her hair. Curly and
you're not distracted of the curly fro hair.
Certain curly hair I don't like.
No.
And when it's up like that, it's just too distracting for me.
Absolutely.
But so Stonehurst Asylum is this new one. It's not a horror film the way it's advertised to be. It's a bit of a psychological thriller.
Yeah.
Similar to what's the
Adventures.
Shutter Island.
Okay. Yep.
Shutter Island.
Shutter Island.
Very
Yes,
similar to that.
Okay.
And it's got Ben Kingsley and
what's her name? Kate
Beckinsale, yeah, absolutely, and Jim Sturgis and Michael Caine, and it's a big cast. And it's
DTV here.
Yeah, so it's a good film.
Okay, we'll watch that. Yeah.
Then I watched Jupiter Ascending, the new Wachowski's film, and I loved it, man. I've heard so many people shit canning it, and I guess I went into it with low expectations and came out of it like a little giddy schoolboy going, wow, that was just so cool. If I'd seen that as a kid, it would have been the best fucking thing ever. It was like essentially what Star Wars was to me back in the day, you know? If this had come in the 1970s.
Was it kind of like more kind of straight ahead sci-fi like Star Wars, or was it a bit more like Brazil, kind of like a little bit?
Oh no! The thing is, it's not confusing the way people are making it out to be. Because I went in there expecting a mindfuck because people have said it's a mess, it's incoherent.
That's what I heard. That some people say they bring stories up, but then they don't really flesh them out.
It makes perfect sense. It goes from sort of A to B to C just perfectly, and there was no confusion whatsoever. The world they've created is very heavily CG driven, but it works. It's very nice. There's a few dodgy green screen moments, like chroma key doesn't quite work well. But overall, just really dazzling. So I'm going to kick out of it.
I'm keen to see
lower expectations and you'll like it.
Right.
Then I watched one of the worst films of the year, which is Left Behind, the new Christian thriller film with Nicolas Cage. And that's enough said. Then I watched Ernest Goes to Camp on Blu-ray. That's the best of the lot.
It is the first.
So good, so good. Yeah. He sings that song.
A little turtle in it, doesn't it, Alan?
It's got lots of turtles parachuting.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Oh, I wish I could remember. I'm an Ernest aficionado, and I can't remember the song he sang. But it's got a really touching song where he's crying, and why is it always raining when I cry? Something like that.
Doesn't go a little something like, Dad is in the dining room, talking through the news. Mom, you're waiting. See, I was only going to give you that, and then you want more.
That's it.
That's all you get.
That's it. Jim Varney sang that in Ernest Goes to Camp.
That song that I just sang there?
Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing. Fucking look at that. Synchronicity.
Bam!
We're on the same page.
No rehearsal or anything.
I forgot to mention earlier too, Night Train to Terror. It's got Richard Moller, from TV's Night Court, but he was also Big Ben in House. And that's
he's dead now.
Name
he's dead now.
Is he?
I'm pretty sure he's dead.
No.
Last year, I think he died.
Oh my god, that's heartbreaking.
I'm pretty certain.
That's really sad.
I love Richard.
He's a real character actor.
Oh, comedy legend.
Dungeon Master as well. Evil Speak. These are all his horror roles, but
but he's done a lot of comedy as well. Yeah, very cool.
Very cool.
And then I watched Big Eyes, new Tim Burton film. Loved the shit out of it.
You
very
did.
cool.
You did. Did you feel like it just glossed over a bit? Like it could have been a bit more of a, a little bit more of a just character story. It felt like it a little bit.
No, look, my problem with it, and it's a small problem because I loved it. I thought it was a great film. I thought it was. People keep saying that it's the most un-Tim Burton film there is, but I reckon it's very Tim Burton because he's explored the 50s aesthetic through Edward Scissorhands, as well as even Pee-wee's Big Adventure is very 50s. Big Fish. So I think this is just more of that kind of tone. I guess it's less fantasy driven, but it's got those nice little fantasy touches.
It does. I wonder whether it would have. I don't know whether it's the script or wonder whether with a different director could have been.
I loved it. I think
the casting was
my only problem with the casting was Christoph Waltz really overdoes it towards the end because his character descends into this madness and I think he just pushes it.
King. You're a king. I'm a king.
But that plays well in the first half, but then it becomes very absurd. And I know in real life it played out in a similar way.
Yeah.
But I just think he pushed it a little bit too much.
Went too hard.
Yeah, you go a bit too hard.
He went full retard, possibly? Is that what you might have been like?
He just went full king.
Yeah.
Full king. And then I watched The Man Who Wasn't There. Inspired by yourself, because we were talking about that recently.
What about that scene in the barber shop where he says to all this hair?
And put in the dirt.
Yeah, mix it in with the dirt.
Yeah.
Makes no sense, because what are you doing? Oh, no.
Never mind. It's crazy.
Makes no sense. Brilliant fucking.
I love it.
I love it.
It's one of those moments. It's a very true life kind of moment because we all have that
just passing strange thoughts.
That snap, where you're like, what the fuck? And then I watched Tammy, the one with Michelle McCarthy.
Did a review
I liked it. It was fun.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's a.
You don't mind Melissa McCarthy?
Look, I used to dislike her, right?
Yeah. Okay.
But now I feel like I've tapped into what she's doing and like she's doing the same thing over and over because you're going to milk it while you can. Right?
Make the money.
I mean, every comedian we like has. Yeah. Steve Martin did. Bill Murray did. And I actually think she's...
But they're not in the same league.
I think she's in that league. She's just not there yet. Like, I think she's towing the same line as them.
Right.
I think she's very highly underrated.
What about Rebel Wilson then?
Let's not go there.
But Rebel Wilson does that same character.
Yeah, but she doesn't do it well. She doesn't do it well. I think
that's our perception. I think because we're Australians, the Americans really seem to think
they
it's
do.
funny and
they do.
like it. I don't understand it either. I think
I don't hate Rebel Wilson. I've got time for her. But Melissa McCarthy, she can deliver a line, man. And this was directed by her husband. And what I like, look, it's more of a collection of ideas than it is a movie because it's just a whole lot of sketches they've put together in a narrative. So if you can just sort of accept the fact that it's a whole lot of from here to there to here to there, you know, it's funny. You know, I like it. Anyway,
on that topic, did you see that film, The Heat, that she did with?
Yes, and I didn't like that one at all.
It was awful. I
didn't like it.
So that's that Paul Figgs
who's doing the Ghostbusters.
He's doing the fucking Ghostbusters.
Yeah, he did Bridesmaids. But his new one looks okay.
He did the Freaks and Geeks.
Yeah, and
he's talented.
His new one looks good. Spy. You've probably seen the trailer.
I was about to bring that up.
Yeah.
It starts off really well until Melissa McCarthy steps in.
Come on!
The
No.
so funny with Jude Law.
No, but this is what
this
is what I'm saying in that she's milking it because she can at the moment. Like she's making millions off it. She's good at doing it.
Yeah.
And it becomes repetitious and boring, but, you know, like I said, the good comedians... Jim Carrey, classic example.
He's a genius.
But he made a whole lot of samey films right through the 90s. Yeah. After Ace Ventura, they were all that kind of shtick, you know?
That's his shtick.
And this is her shtick.
Yeah.
And I reckon... And she did St. Vincent, which is a real sort of cool performance there.
Yeah, I don't know if she didn't have to do much. She just turned it down. She just turned it down a bit.
Well, we're just going to have to...
Look, I'm not going to...
Because I didn't like her at first, but I really warmed to her.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck. Anyway, I moved on to Shaun of the Dead. Then I watched...
Cool. What was the... What made you revisit Shaun of the Dead? Was there something...
Late at night, couldn't think of anything else that was sitting there, and I just whacked it on.
Fuck yeah.
And I asked my son, Sean, if he wanted to watch it with me, and he was freaked out by the title, so he didn't.
So he hasn't watched it?
No, and I said,
awesome.
Come on, mate.
He's got to
watch it with me.
Yeah.
What other parent is going to let their kid watch a movie where the opening line from one character is, come on, cunts?
Yeah, absolutely.
But so after that, we then went on to Independence Day. Relive that little gem. I like it. It's fun.
And Will Smith said he's not going to return for
He's
ID4.
not. I believe so.
Right.
But Chris Hemsworth or Liam Hemsworth, one of them.
No,
one of the Hemsworths is... Oh, no. Not a Hemsworth. Who's
Randy Quaid. Randy Quaid's coming back. Once he's done...
I'm home!
Sorry, Clark. The shitter was full.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And then I watched Arnold John Sayles' classic called Mate One, which I loved. Fantastic. Then I saw the new Cinderella. That was great. Yeah. Loved it. That might end up in my top 10.
Excellent, yeah.
Very cool.
Kenneth
Branagh, and he brings Derek Jacobi into the fold. Which what's a Kenneth Branagh film without Derek Jacobi?
True.
Then I
no Emma Thompson though.
No Emma Thompson. No. That's long gone.
Yeah,
long gone. Who else was in it? Well, Cate Blanchett was fantastic. Yeah. Then I watched The Babadook again.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, love The Babadook. It's great.
Yep.
Scary fuck. William Friedkin has labelled it in the top 5 scary films he's ever seen.
Yeah, that guy's...
I won't go that far.
No way. I'm not going there.
I don't even think it's scary. It's psychologically terrifying, but I don't think it's all that. I don't think it's that intense.
It's not going to make me lose any sleep.
No.
You know, it's a great film and it stays in your
atmospheric
head,
and whatnot.
Yeah, but it's not going to make me, scared to take the rubbish to the dustbin late at night.
No. I mean, in all fairness, any movie can put a door creak in and make people shiver. Make my hair stand up there. And then I watched the new Shaun the Sheep film.
Sure, you should have done that as Shaun of the Dead. You
didn't
take Shaun to that, though, did you?
No, I went by myself. I was like a grown man.
You didn't get an offer. It's like, you want to watch Shaun of the Dead? No, well, you don't get to see Shaun the Sheep.
That's it. Fuck that up, little mate.
Yeah,
but no, that was so cool. It's probably the best thing that Aardman's done, I think. They did obviously Wallace and Gromit and Flushed Away, Pirates.
Run.
Yeah.
Pirates look shit, I never saw that.
It's not great.
But this Christmas one too, after Christmas.
Yeah, they did that. Yeah. This is the best thing they've done, I think.
Awesome. I'm definitely going to check this one out.
There's not a word of dialogue in it. It's completely, almost a silent film. Ooh. Great soundtrack. Every joke hits the beat. It's just beautiful. Yeah. It's really funny. And Last Mimzy, that was it. That's my...
you saw a lot of movies. Probably like 3 times the amount of movies I saw.
Twice the amount.
Twice the amount, you'd say?
Yeah, because you ran out halfway through my list.
Right, okay.
Bam!
Dude.
Alright, awesome. So that brings us to the end of an episode. So let's do a little bit of a wrap up. Same as we always do, have to give a shout out to Daniel McDonald Sound Design because he did the music that you're listening to right now, and that's cool.
Very cool.
So look up him. Daniel McDonald Sound Design. And speaking of sound design, the Screaming Meanies, give them a massive shout out. They've done some work for you.
They did. Screaming Meanies did the entire score for Gone Lesbo Gone, the untold tale of an unseen film.
Brilliant.
Very, very talented artist. And yeah, just so versatile.
Yep.
Amazing.
And they're doing some work for me as well with the Billy Crank stuff, which leads me to everyone should check out the Billy Crank fan page because we've got some cool stuff coming up.
Excellent.
We're working towards a big web series, which is going to go gangbusters, and Screaming Meanies are going to do the music for us for that.
Very cool.
So don't forget to check out the collection updates that we post up on YouTube.
Yeah.
Every video we put on YouTube, go and have a look.
Go and have a little peek.
And that brings us to the close.
Yeah. We might even, next episode we've discussed, we might have a guest.
Yeah, why not?
We're going to put it out there.
Haven't had one for a while.
No, and this chap, who I'm not going to name, he's been keen to do the show, and I'm going to put it out there and we'll see if he wants to come on board and catch up with us.
Menage a trois.
Yeah, let's choose a weird movie like Threesome. You know, was it William Baldwin in that one? And that
was it William Baldwin? I know it's
one of the Stephen Baldwin.
Stephen Baldwin, yeah,
and Lara Flynn Boyle.
Yeah,
and then the other dude, I can't remember.
Charles.
Yes, that guy. Yes. Fuck, you're good.
Yeah.
I don't remember his last name, but it is that dude.
Oh, damn. Anyway, let's bring it to a close, and we're gonna drop this one with a tune from the Screaming Meanies, and it's called Walking Long, and it's very cool electronic sound. So hang around and listen to it because it's very, very cool.
Drop a roofie in your drink and get ready to relax.
Doof doof doof.
I can't do the Bill Cosby voice. Otherwise, I'm drop in a drink. What is that Tina Fey thing? Yeah. Okay.
All right, man. Well, I'll catch you next time.
I'll see you then.
We'll see you all next time. Bye. That's
It's
the
too much rape
rapiest episode ever.
We're gonna get in trouble.